Okay, we're going to work with a quick review of pronouns first, and then we're going to move into how we use pronouns in sentences, especially when we have two, an indirect and a direct object pronoun. So first of all, quick review of our subject, pronombres personales, subject pronouns. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, all use the same form of the verb. Okay, third person singular form of the verb. Nosotros, we, vosotros, you all, ellos, ellas, and ustedes, they and you all, plural, all use the same form of the verb as well. Okay? So, I, you, he, she, you, polite, we, you all, they all females, and you guys, you all. Alright. Pronombres reflexivos, so reflexive pronouns, what we just worked on in lesson 1. When we say that the action goes back to the subject. Me, te, se, nos, os, and se. So Marcos se viste bien. He dresses well. Marcos dresses well. That's reflexive. It's basically saying he dresses himself well. Okay, so that's reflexivo. Verbos reflexivos. Okay? Now, complementos directos. Those are direct object pronouns. So when we have direct object pronouns, that's when the person or the item, the thing, the it, lo, la, los, or las, when that directly receives the action of the verb, we have a direct object pronoun. So, obviously, these are the same as the ones we've been using so far. Me, te, nos, and os stay the same. Now when we have a direct object pronoun, we can have an it if it's not a person. We can have an it or a him and a her if it is a person. And we have a them here, whether it's objects or people. Alright, so an example is I bought them yesterday. So we're in the past tense here. I bought, yo compré, I bought, and I bought them, referring to the books, we'll say. Okay, so if los refers to the books, and we want to say, I bought them yesterday, I bought them yesterday. Now, the reason we have the los in front of the verb, whereas in English we put it behind, I bought them. In Spanish, remember we mentioned this at the beginning of our work lesson as well. In Spanish, direct object pronouns can come in one of 3 different places. Let's review those real quickly. 1, before a conjugated verb. So before a conjugated verb. So any verb that has been changed, put an ending on it. It's not in the infinitive form, AR, ER, or IR. So if it's been changed, conjugated, we can put a direct object pronoun in front of that conjugated verb. So before a conjugated verb is the first place a direct object pronoun can go. The second place is after and attached to an infinitive. Okay, so after an infinitive and attached to it. So we have an example of that right here. Voy a llevarla mañana. I am going to wear it. The it may be referring to la camisa or la blusa. Voy a llevarla mañana. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. So because llevar is in the infinitive form, I can attach that pronoun, that la, right on the end of it, after an infinitive and attached to it. And the third place we have mentioned in book 1 as well, first semester, is it can go on the end of a present progressive participle. So we'll say after again, after a present progresivo, presente progresivo participle. So after an ando or yendo form. So we can attach it right on the end of those as well, ando or yendo. So instead of saying voy a llevarla, I could say estoy llevándola. Remember, we have to write in an accent mark. Estoy llevándola. And that all becomes one word. And I can attach that direct object pronoun right on the end of an ando or yendo form as well. Okay, so those are the three basic places for now. There is a fourth, but we won't talk about that until later. There's a fourth place those pronouns can go. But for now, we're going to talk about that the pronoun can go before a conjugated verb, after an infinitive, or after and attached to a present progressive participle, ando or yendo. Okay? Now, so those are direct object pronouns. Those are the ones that actually receive the action of the verb. Now we also need to talk about indirect object pronouns. Indirect object pronouns don't actually receive the action of the verb directly, they receive it indirectly. So, for example, if I say, I'm going to say, I bought him the newspaper, what I actually bought was the newspaper, so I bought the newspaper, but I bought it for him or her. That means him or her is now the indirect object pronoun. Okay? So, le compré el periódico. I bought is my verb, past tense, the newspaper, for him or her. That makes him or her an indirect object pronoun. And if you need help with indirect and direct object pronouns, even in English, if you don't understand that too well, email me, text me, let me know that you need a little extra help there, and I can help you out. Okay, but those are indirect object pronouns. Notice, again, me, te, nos, and os has not changed. We still use those for direct and indirect object pronouns. Same, igualito. Igual. But him and her is le, them is les. Okay, for indirect object pronouns. Him and her, them. Alright? Once again, they follow the same three places for now on where we can put one of these direct object or indirect object pronouns. Before a conjugated verb, or after an infinitive. So down here, notice I have pause.